I can't see this guy's name because once again my printer didn't print out the
Team
blue.
Forward. Team
Thank you.
Forward.
Who are the safest workers in the business? So, instead of just sort of naming a few people, I thought we'd do a little game, a little ranking game. And unlike any other time we've done these rankings of A, B, C, D, I've actually defined what A, B, C, and D are. I'm going to give you some names. And to be honest, we could do this 10 times over with the amount of people you've worked with. Anyway, so from A is the safest, and here's how I've defined it. Never caught you, or as far as you know, anyone with anything, not even like an errant punch, just like you don't even feel it. B might be stiff or caught you with the occasional shot, but in safe places, that kind of thing, but you wouldn't get hurt, long term especially. C might put you down wrong, they might smack you in the face, throw hard strikes, land on you, and you'd absolutely feel it. You'd know you've been in a match. And occasionally could be careless, occasionally could be dangerous. Or D, there was a genuine chance of you getting hurt or injured. Those are the definitions of A, B, C, and D. And I've got a bunch of names for you, so I thought I'd give you an easy one for the start. Al Snow, why is he a D?
Why is he a D?
I'm joking. Well, you could say that a couple of ways, I guess, but Al Snow.
No, I think Al, see, Al's a legitimate kind of shooter in a way too. He trained Dan Severn for UFC. He has a good foundation for, real mat wrestling and stuff like that.
He did
MMA
tough
stuff.
man contests, I don't think people realize as well, yeah.
Yes, he was. I would say, with that being said, see, I want to say A, but Al would hook you with a clothesline and hit you with shots and do whatever, but it was always things that were there, but in very safe places. So I would say, he's a B, maybe stiffer, caught you with an occasional shot, but it would never hurt. It just means like he would hit you pretty stiff with a clothesline, a forearm. He would drive you with a slam, but these are things in certain parts of the match where you got to turn up the intensity. So I would only put him a B because it would be like, wow, that clothesline was there, but I took a bump, didn't hit the back of my head, didn't get knocked out type thing. So I'd put a B on that.
Are you happy with these definitions, or shall I rejig them slightly?
No, I'm very happy because if stiff just means you got caught with a heavy clothesline, a heavy move, something that knocked the wind out of you or something like that. Um, there is a name on this list. I'll just put the spoiler out here right now that I would only put this guy maybe in the absolute A category.
Really?
The absolute A category. This might be the only guy that, like, I was like, oh my God, this is the lightest worker I've been in the ring with, even on the lockup or anything. You're gonna guess.
No, I'm not going to. I want you to save it for me. Okay, then. Well, there's got to be some A's and B's and C's and D's, I guess. So, I mean, the absolute A's, you've got to put a few in A, I guess. So
Yep.
maybe just lighten up on the definitions that I came up with a tiny bit, just to suit the thing.
All right, let's put Al back in the A then.
Okay, then.
Al never heard me. Al's an A.
So next on this list, and I don't think too many people will. Oh, some people will, especially in the day, I suppose. You had quite a few singles matches with Scott Steiner.
Mhm. Were they singles matches or were they basically crash test dummy matches? Because Scott was featured. It was usually with Victoria, and then, we would be in the ring. The first time I wrestled him, we refused to leave the ring, and the music hit. Here he comes, and there was a couple other things where Victoria faced off with him. I tried to hit him from behind, and then we had some tag matches too, where it was Test and myself versus uh, Scott Steiner, and I don't know who he took up with, but there was a couple tag matches too. There was also a
Test?
six.
Did he
I
tag
teamed up with
Test?
Test. I teamed up against Test in a 6-man where I think it was goal. It was Kevin Nash, Steiner, and somebody. I remember Nash finished me with the boot and a power bomb, but it was myself and Test teaming up and Victoria. So it was I think Trish Stratus was the other person on the babyface team. That was a fun 6-man tag. There was a couple tag matches, and then there was singles matches with Scott. Scott, you look at Scott, he's a brick house. He's basically like, he's a hell of a worker. He's there, but obviously with an amateur background, being a tough guy, there's stuff that's there. So I might put him maybe in the C category because there'll be some stuff because he's so strong that you could potentially could be put down wrong or take take a bump. Like even that flatliner, he's so big and he's so strong. One time on a flatliner in San Diego, yeah, I didn't hit my head on the mat or anything, but he had me so tight and he's so strong when he came back with me, it jolted me and gave me like rung my bell pretty good. But not because he did something, because it was just he's just a look at him. He's just a big dude full of muscle. And sometimes you're just gonna be he's gonna get a good hold of you and you're gonna get your wind knocked out or you're gonna get your bell rung. So I put him in a C.
Next is Heidenreich. You know
D.
why I put this in here.
D. D, absolute D. There's a genuine chance as far as an absolute chance that 100% of the time I got hurt when I wrestled Heidenreich, whether it be the electric chair spot, we can do a what went wrong on that, just dropping me on my shoulder. Then I remember in New Orleans, which by the way, that's going to be where WrestleMania is the year after this one. There's a house show in New Orleans. And this is after the 2 times, and then Dreamer come on by goes, "Wacko, they're trying to kill you." So, they just kept putting me in the ring with Heidenreich. So, we had a house show, and I remember I was standing there in, like, whatever the loading dock area or something, and I remember, "Oh my god, I got Heidenreich tonight." And I remember John standing there, and he's hitting himself in the head, walking back and forth, and he's saying, "I can't hurt Stevie tonight. I can't hurt Stevie tonight. I can't hurt Stevie tonight." I was like, "So you have to psych yourself up to not hurt me?" I'm even more scared now. He didn't hurt me, but the match was relatively short. We didn't do much, and he didn't bump me much, and he still went over, but I got him with the kick, and as a matter of fact, he said, "I'm gonna eat the kick," and I go, "Please don't. Please don't. I don't wanna hurt you." And he ate the kick to the point where he ran into the kick, and I thought he broke my leg on when I so he jammed me on the kick. I was trying to throw the kick, and he just like a bullet train right into it. And I remember I was like, "Oh my god, did I just blow my knee out after all this?" So yeah, he's a D. Nice
Oh,
guy.
Raven. Now, I've seen bits of Raven, maybe not in matches, but in WCW where he's absolutely smacked you on as well. So I thought, well,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's a tough one because I'm sure you wrestled him or interacted with him quite a lot physically over the years, more than people would know.
Yeah, I would say if it came to a match, I would put him in a B, but then there was segments where he would slap me or he would rough me up or do whatever that could put it in a C, but they were warranted for the characters we were and what we did. He's a B. Like there's stuff like a knee lift might catch you near your jaw or something, or the clothesline, like he'd whip you into the corner, face first, come out with the clothesline, and that's kind of there and high, but nothing you ever get hurt from. He was an amazing worker.
Kurt Angle.
Hmm. Kurt Angle, I think, is a B as well. He had some punches that were rubber mallets, but like right up here. So he didn't walk around psyching himself up to say, "I can't hurt Stevie tonight." That's solely Heidenreich, but I would put him at a B. I mean, for Kurt to be somewhat stiff and there and snug with his Olympic wrestling background, that to me, that's light. I mean, the B for anybody else puts Kurt in an A because he's got to dial it back like 99% to make it work.
Next one is Gene Snitsky. I saw an interview with him recently, and man, he's got the big beard, the huge beard going on now, but he's still working out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, there was a time where I was looking to buy a Jeep Wrangler, and he's a big Jeep enthusiast. I was following him on social media. He's always talking about his Jeep and stuff. And he also has a great basement gym. I haven't been on social media a long time, but when I did look at that, he had good setup and the beard, of course. And I think he was doing bodyguard work for like Derek Jeter or somebody, right? Or
Really?
Alex Rodriguez back in the day.
I don't know.
He was doing bodyguard work for an athlete. I remember that. I never wrestled Gene, so I don't know. Did I wrestle him?
I don't know.
No,
I
I
just
don't.
thought
I
of
don't
his
think
name. Oh, well, I
I
am
don't
sorry.
think I've ever wrestled him.
That's an absolutely terrible question then. Okay, I'm going to move on. Bob Holly.
Bob Holly is absolutely a B. Like, boy, you could say borderline C by some of the heavy stuff he throws, but the heavy stuff he throws is safe. So I definitely put him in the B category. But Bob's like Val. Bob's like Val. You laid in on me, I laid in on you. We had some very physical matches. Once again, some of my favorite ones on Velocity. We had 2 matches back to back. Um, but he's definitely a B. He doesn't go out there to hurt anybody, but he's gonna lay it in, make it look real, and you have to bring it and you have to hang with Bob. He was actually the guy back in the Right to Censor days when I was doing singles, like towards the end, that would test me on house show loops in a positive way. Like, I'm gonna push you. We're gonna have a 15, 20-minute match and where it's gonna be very physical. And I remember it was like Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota. Those were some of my favorite matches against Bob.
This next name I'm bringing up because not only did you wrestle him quite a few times, but both you and I keep showing up on his YouTube channel as of recent. I know why, but we have to say Maven Huffman.
Now, Maven's an A. Never caught me with anything.
Really? Is that the guy who you're going to say was the A?
No, it's not.
Ah.
I just thought of that. Well, Maven, sometimes with Maven too, we both were guilty of being too light. Like some of my kicks had space on them and they didn't cut the camera angle, or Maven would be light with some stuff in order to take care of his opponent. Plus, you got to think, Maven wasn't in wrestling nor the WWE for that long. So he was green for a lot of the time. I would say even up to when he tug up with Simon Dean and they were heels. That's when he found his groove with his character. But he never really touched me with anything, maybe sometimes to a fault that it would look fake sometimes. But no, he was super light.
Kevin Nash. For people who don't know, you worked with Kevin Nash in a singles match, in fact, as Dr. Stevie in TNA.
We worked multiple times in WWE and in TNA. I would put Kevin, the only thing I would say to put him in the B is stuff I would take myself. I would eat the boot because I would bump underneath it. Snake eyes, I would try to sometimes reach for the post or something, do like the Billy Gunn on that.
Oh, that's not fair. Then you've got to call him an A if it was nothing he did.
I have to call him an A. See, we're gonna have more A's than I thought. Yeah, he's a worker as far as like somebody you want to work night in and night out.
Luna Vachon, who you wrestled in a one-on-one match in ECW.
T. When I ran, I was running. It was a shoot. She'd scratch me with those metal nail things she had and put scars on my back. Her punches were there. But you have to think about, where did Luna come from? She was trained obviously in Florida. I don't know if her family trained her or if she was around the Grahams. She was around all the people that were legitimate people that would rough you up in the ring. And I remember her telling me a story that she got roughed up a lot. And one of our last matches in Florida, she was on the outs with ECW, who she was about to go. And she was asking me, like, before we went out there, don't hurt me. And I was like, why would I do that? I have never done it. Well, I know that Paulie's mad at me and I'm on my way out and I just don't want anyone to hurt me on the way out. And I was like, oh, I would never hurt you. But I think that was a very old school way, if you're out of favor with the office, that they would have somebody in the ring at least teach you a lesson. And it was like, and I think I said to her right before we went out there, I was like, oh, I forgot to ask you. And I've never asked you this, but please don't hurt me. And she's like, I would never hurt you. And I was like, well, like all those other time. Okay, see you out there.
Did she hurt you, D?
She did not hurt me in that match, but she was very much a D for a lot of the matches.
Next one, Drew McIntyre.
I do want to preface that, or after the fact, I love Luna. She was fun to work. It was just, that's her style. Drew McIntyre is an A. An A. I've only wrestled him that one time in Nebraska, but he never touched me with anything. Matter of fact, me and the other guy were rougher on Drew than he was on. It looked like he could kill us, but he was like, oh my God, get away from me.
So was he the guy who you had in mind for the A at the beginning?
Nope.
Goodness me. Right, we've got plenty then. Next one, Carlito.
I never had any physicality with Carlito outside of when I dumped him over the top at One Night Stand and he went through the table.
Oh, now you're going to stun me now. I thought you wrestled him.
Never wrestled Carlito.
Carlito and Rosita defeated Stevie Richards and Tara 2013
Oh,
HOH.
on a house show. We hardly got in the ring.
No, it's 2013. It's in Indy, Mid Hudson Civic
No, no,
Center.
that's what I mean. It was like not televised. I was in terrible shape for that, dude. I hated myself. No, he
Uh,
was Carlito and I hardly got in the ring and did anything, so I can't really speak on that. Easy, easy. I mean, but
That's fine. Okay, then. I'm going to leave that in then. So you did actually wrestle, well, on paper at least, you wrestled
I did.
Carlito,
I
I guess.
did wrestle Carlito. We were in the ring a very limited amount of time. The girls were in the ring more than we were. He's easy, but that's what I mean. Like, I can't believe I forgot that. I usually have
Yeah.
a good memory about that. Sorry, Carly.
Next one. And I don't know if you had any singles matches with him, but surely he turned up in some of the hardcore brawls or whatever. Steve Mafuggin Blackman, as they call him.
No, I did have a singles match where I parodied and dressed as Steve Blackman.
Did
I hit
you?
myself. I hit myself in the nuts with the nunchuck.
I don't
Yeah,
remember
we had.
that.
Yeah, I came out as the perfect weapon, Stevie Richards, or the lethal weapon. I was doing the nunchuck thing, and I went like that and hit myself in the thing, and then we had our match. He was fine. I think he's a B. I mean, you could be in a real fight with him, but you would die.
Hmm.
It'd be over. It'd be the shortest match ever. So it's a B. And I put him in the Kurt Angle category because he has such a legitimate fighting background. He has to dial it back so much that if he caught you a little bit with a shot or a kick, it's still not full strength because once again, you would die, literally, not an exaggeration. There was the other one. We had a fun segment on Heat when the right to censor was going away, where I asked him to hand me the nunchucks. He handed me the nunchucks finally. I turned around. He had a spare pair in the back of his trunks and hit me with 17 shots in 3 seconds. It was like the Zapruder film. And he did not hit me because quite literally, like I said twice, I would be dead. I would still be in the ring.
Next one. The Big Show.
You know, for his size and everything, to give Paul a B is an immense compliment. He was very, very light. Obviously, the forearms, the chops, the heavy-handed stuff, the elbow drop or the leg drop, you're feeling something. So he's definitely a B. One of the, like I said before, one of the most underrated people at any size, but especially for being a giant.
Rob Van Dam. Now, there's a story you've told where you blame yourself because you caught a kick direct in the face, but that aside, Rob, generally, when you work with him, because he does have a reputation of being a bit strong in there sometimes.
Yeah, he's a C. He's a C because you're saying smack in the eye or throw a hard strike or whatever. Some of the kicks are just there. Some of the kicks will catch you under the chin. Some will catch you on the cheek. Some will catch you dead on the nose. He's never been one like straight in the mouth or the nose, but he can catch you in the side, and they don't feel great. I mean, obviously you don't want to be hit right there, but nothing feels great. The rolling thunder sometimes knock the wind out of you, but that's in the B category. Um, it's mostly those kicks. Now, I'll tell you what, I've never taken the coast to coast or other things because that can go wrong real quick with a chair or a trash can or something like that. But with that being said, like, he teeters between a B and a C, but I only look at that because when you factor in the spin kicks or the jumping kicks and other stuff, you're just going to get caught. And it will knock you silly a little bit and make you feel like possibly, because once again, Rob's one of those guys in a real fight. I'm not going to 8 minutes with Rob, not going to 8 seconds with him, but I would probably say a C. And why here I'm thinking once again, I'm having flashbacks to Maven talking about Rob, and then Rob for some reason telling the Nair story, which I even forgot, to the point where he had nightmares about the Nair story, where we were trying to get him to use Nair.
Yeah, that was nearly a 30-minute rebuttal to a story that Maven told me on WSI. He was that then Maven then watched. So, as I say, it was like Inception.